expert in conjunction with old-time traditional music. But we don't think we're amateurs really. With true meaning of the word, we just love it to do it. You know, fiddle pegs are cold. So it's been a labor of love collecting tunes, and some of the tunes we collect from the great Art Rosenbaum's collection are from a guy named Edgar Fortenberry. And how many of y'all might have noticed down at the country store a little loop road there called Ed Fortenberry Road? So we are going to do an Edgar Fortenberry tune that we really like a lot. It's in G. It's got some. We'll just do a little demo. Maybe this workshop we'll do a little demo, and then maybe and then see how y'all like to study or just break things down a little bit. Here this is it's mostly G, and then the E part's got some the B part's got some E minors in it. It's called Johnny Had a Wedding and Phoebe Wouldn't Go. I like these little fiddle tunes, and we all like to collect these little mini masterpieces that we call fiddle tunes, and they're just like a little small margin where you can play inside the boundaries, where it's still basically a recognizable, simple tune. But then one of the things that we like to do is, you know, have a little bit of elasticity inside that tennis court. So one of the things I really like about this tune is very indicative of Edgar Fortenberry is he has a lot of syncopated anticipatory bow movements before the downbeat's coming. So this is a good one to start with because it'll kind of get you in the jump in the deep end of the pool with just getting those long kind of anticipatory bows. I call it like it's kind of really, if you're thinking about music written out, it would be like a tie across the bar, and sometimes a tie between the bars. So he's got some of those going too. So if just for those of you that haven't done this much, if we counted footsteps, quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one's got a tie between the bars, 2, 3, 4. So the ties are in the middle between the bars. So 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and so that's where we could put the emphasis on. And I think Edgar Fortenberry started on the high. So it's pretty much a pentatonic major tune. You have the scale G, A, B, and D and E. And the whole thing is a pentatonic, so it's pretty easy to get on any instrument. So if we want to try the bowing together, it would be for those of you that want to play along, 3, 4, G. That's really great orchestral action. Very nice. Wow. I can really tell we're with the veteran tune collectors here. And so, very good. Now, the second part, it's not as syncopated, I don't think. But the funny ending, this is kind of like got one of those Irish endings, like where it's coming down the pentatonic scale, landing on the G, but 1 and a 2 and so da 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 da. So we won't talk too much about bowing unless people have questions. We'll take time for questions about it. But bow directions. I'm not very particular about bow directions because I like to improvise on it. So, but if anybody has trouble with the bowing directions, let me know. So here's the low part is. And down to E and back to G, G, and up to E, down to G. Amazing. Very great unison fiddling there. So some of the things that we like to do with the improvisational, we try to keep it again in the margins where we don't really stray from the melody much, but we like to toy with the textural things, like we might creep up to certain notes, and we might connect notes with the slide. So that's one of the things you seem to hear. I seem to hear more in like the deep South states that tend to be a little bit more. Have legato movements and or little stretchy things like little mini slides and even big sliding double stops and stuff like that. You don't hear quite as much in like the Midwest or the Mid-Atlantic. So and of course lots of African phrasing that comes into to the Southern fiddling. So let's do a little bit of just a suggestion like improvisation like. I'll kind of creep into that E. Probably a lot of y'all do that. That's a little textural thing that's really useful in Georgia music. You can kind of start from your ring finger, and then you just kind of creep it up intentionally dissonant, and then kind of let it kind of resolve on a unison. You can overdo it. It's anything done too much is self-evident. So. But then we'll talk about some of the other rhythmic things we do. We might do. So I come in. That's not Edgar Fortenberg. We preempted. We jumped that beat on that. So that's something that's just something that we've taken from other tunes of that ilk, in the region, and then we'll just kind of like juxtapose those things, pepper them in like freely, and kind of like we might say in the style of. So, any questions yet? Everybody's happy with that. Everybody seemed to really get that. It's pretty easy on banjo. Some of the things are hard to duplicate exactly from banjo to fiddle, but just do the best you can, and then we'll have a jam also this afternoon. So you can, if you want to come up close and ask how we do things, it's quite all right. So let's do another Edgar Fortenberry one. So I just thought of a good one. Pretty famous though. This one's Prettiest Girl in the County. Prettiest Girl in the County. How many know that tune? Really? Reed does it? Reed plays it?
I've only heard Norman Blake play it.
Okay, well, good then. This is kind of a three-part tune. It's pretty much a vanilla G all the way through, but we like to, I like to put a D chord on the third part because it's kind of signifying a D. So here's Prettiest Girl in the County. We'll do a little demo first. There's that creepy. That one's pretty easy to get. After the last one, I think you can see this pretty much the same kind of fingering. Again, pentatonic G. There's no fourth step of the scale. When we're talking about pentatonic, the 5 tones, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 of the scale steps. So pretty much the same kind of architecture as the last two. But I put some Gid Tannerisms in there. So Gid Tanner was a guy from around towards Athens, Tequila, and I took Evan out to Gordon Tanner's place back when he was like this high. And we camped out in the countryside there, so we could be there early and go visit the Tanners. And they have that old Tanner's Chicken House there, and it was like which they still have there, but they had converted it into the skilled liquor practice jam. That was their man cave, I guess. So we'll do that. See that? Just talking about that brings to mind like tunes like "Pretty Little Widow." That's another good one. So let's play. We'll play together. We all want to play "Prettiest Girl in the County." It's got some little stanzas to it, as many of these tunes do. So we got kind of cascading down from the high. G. That's just without the syncopation. Just. Now G. G, G, B, D, G, E, D. So that's the B part. G, G, B, G, E, G, 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 B, E, D. Third part. So we got two kind of unresolved things. They're kind of landing on the D. It's kind of wanting more, get that feeling. Up to the high B, E, A, A. B down to G and E, D, D. go. So now then when you add the connectivity there, you can do it. You can play those kind of sinewy. If you want to roly-poly that, you can do that thing. And then another thing that you'll hear me add as you play, I will just play it together, and I'll start peppering in some little things that, like one of the good Tannerisms I call it is like that little flutter. He does that he'll kind of hold a note down or an open string, and he'll kind of I call it a flutter. He just kind of repetitious like that. So just try to add little textures on things. You'll hear some of the textures. Another really cool one that seems to be really quintessential good Tanner is he does an intentional sliding double stop, and it's a very kind of smarmy, very like intentionally kind of dissonant, it kind of and takes his time kind of getting back to it. So it's got a lot of tension and release factor to it, Okay, so here we go. We're doing. Everybody seems to be getting this tempo. Everybody liking this tempo? Is it pretty relaxed here? Everybody seems to be getting. I'm watching unison bows going. It's amazing. Okay. I wonder if Edgar Fortenberry are smiling down on us and going, "I never thought I'd see a fiddle orchestra play my tunes." Can you imagine? Good. That's a creepy E. I like to go back to that first part so I get that resolution. I just got to have that closure. I just like to have that G. Some people like that British Isles unresolved kind of thing because they're always adding verses. I guess they're used to that with their ballad singing. They end on the unresolved notes and kind of leave it floating out there. So maybe when we do the jam, we can play a little longer and do verses. There's little stilly stanzas. Prettiest girl in the county O, and then things rhyming with O. So you can kind of hear that this is like very similar, like in with Josio. Like it's a 3-part, and it's really close to like a Cumberland Gap form with a high and a low. So I mean Josio, prettiest girl in the county O. It's just forensics. I don't know. So I just mentioned one. So yeah, I was thinking about. When we went to Tanner's house, wherever we did that Pretty Little Widow. Maybe we'll do that. It'd be fun. It's got a flatted 7th step of the scale in it, so we're going to play an F note in this tune. But before we do, a couple of other little things I did in that was coming to mind. And Prettiest Little Girl is that the little mini slides, like those little things, the little wiggles. The little wiggles are kind of cool. and then good tenor go. You go. It's like a down slide. They slide into note. So you can practice your whole scale like that. People will just be like, there you go, AMS. There's your, that's your. Try to write that down in your notation. It's like, be like, I have to have some new symbology for that. Be like a squiggle, like a little the infinity sign or something. Okay, that'd be a good for bowing. The infinity sign. Yeah. So that's another one. So we got like the flutters, the little mini, it's a up and back down again. And then the big slow. I didn't do the slow one. We'll do the next one, but that one usually comes up a lot. And then also, you might notice I do like a percussive kind of thing. I like to do that. So I'm like an amalgam fiddler, so I'll like do things from my favorite fiddle heroes and, put that in my music. Because, you play contra dance or something, and you're doing it like for 8 minutes or whatever, and you want to kind of keep it fresh. And so you might do one thing real slinky and longbow, and then you might do something kind of percussive and syncopated. So it kind of keeps the tune fresh, and it's a way to improvise and have fun with it. So this one is, I remember playing back when you were a little tyke with the Tanner family.
Still in.
And I remember Phil saying, "Boy, I hadn't heard that since Papa did that." That was Pretty Little Widow. So we got another pretty little gal in here. So this is clearly an Irish tune. Clayton McMitchen played this. I think it seems to be really unique to North Georgia. It seems to be a North Georgia thing. I don't know who brought it over, but I haven't heard it in other places. Anybody hear Pretty Little Widow from a source? Any other states? Like
John Ashby played it, but I bet he got it
from the Georgia. Okay, yeah, that happens. Yeah, but it kind of really corrupts the whole tune research process because Georgia was such a recording hub, and those records like went out. So then people were like playing stuff, and then you see like Clyde Davenport was playing Skittle Liquor Stoons and other. It's amazing how many people like the stuff that you hear that came from Georgia, and then it's like three Strip Gears did like Homebrew Rag. Was that them, or is that Record
Tweedy
Tree?
Brothers.
The Tweedy Brothers. It's cold. Okay. There we go. All right. Thank you, Siri. All right. So here's the Pretty Little Widow. That's Nancy rolling. No, that's Nancy rolling again. So let's see. Oh, here we go. I got it now. 2, 3, 4. can just rub your hands together if you want. It's
You want the heater? We can put it on.
just like that. No, it's that because it's okay.
For sure.
Yeah, because you'd have to. Where would you put it? And be, our instruments that fall hit. It's okay. Oh, yeah, it's okay.
You can change your
What
mind.
heater, that thing? Oh, it's the propane.
No, I was just making a joke about it, like you don't have to clap. You don't have to. You don't have to take your hands away from out of your gloves and go. Yeah, that Pretty Little Widow. You can really hear the Scots-Irish lineage in that tune, and that Clayton McMitchen said that he learned that from his uncle, or was it his father's uncle? I think it might have been both. He had fiddlers in his family. It was his dad. It was his dad. Yeah, his father was. So I put some Clayton McMitchenisms in there and some Good Tanner. They played together a lot. So it's really hard on some of the mega group, the Skillet Lickers they had. It was kind of a like one of those early super groups where the record company, I think, like recruited like existing solo people that were well known and tried to put them all in one thing, and so would sell records or whatever. And I'm sure they were friends and all, but because they played at the radio station, WSB, like Gid Tanner would be on the radio, and Clayton McMitchen had Hometown Boys, and so it was a natural fit. They got Riley Puckett on the guitar, but then they kept adding fillers. I don't know. It's just like keep coming, like there was so many people listening. And it's funny to see like the original was the Stars. It was Gid Tanner and his Skill Lickers, and it was like, and then it was with Burt Lane and Clayton McMitchen and Low Stokes. So like, I want to be on the record. Put me on the record. So you see some of those records. It's kind of funny. Everybody's name's listed. But when you're listening to those records, it's hard to pick out what you kind of get to know each individual style like a little bit more, and you can go, oh, that's Clayton's doing that, and then you can kind of track that. But one of the things that Clayton does is he'll do like very kind of articulate, those kind of scaly things, and then he'll do kind of real greasy thing, like a real slippery. So he was into mixing it up, and then also he did like almost a staccato, like that kind of stuff. He'll just kind of scuffy, a lot of intentional rosin grip, So here we'll do Pretty Little Widow. It's just the basic tune is just B B E. So we got F sharp there, natural F sharp 7. B B A, then the F sharp, A D, and back to the A G. That's the architecture of that, and then the high part. So that's a really easy little half step to get off of that F. You can just let off, and then throw the C down, and you get a nice double stop. So. So we'll just work with the F for a second now, because there's other things you can do. But the quintessential thing is to land on that C. Essential thing. That's kind of the da, 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 da. So however you get there, in between, not so important. So the second phrase. So I like to I'll keep my D planted, and then make the little tunnel there, the little hop over, and then work your trigger finger behind that. That's if you don't do that already, that's huge. If you want to get your arm over where you're reaching over, you got that, make sure there's daylight in there, and so you can work things behind the ring finger. And so you can work that F there, and then little flutters. Does that sound like his phrase? Clayton. Sometimes they do that. There's a lot of fiddles going there, and Clayton McMitchen was a big improviser. He was he'll do it 3 or 4 different ways on one record. So the F part again is. doesn't have to be active like that, but that's just fun to do, that little flutter. There we go. So now, one of the things I hear, that's a really nice phrase. They go up to the A, and you're making a whole F major scale down to that C. They always land on that C though. So that's a fun one to do. It's got a little sound of the old country there. So while we're on this flat 7 thing here, let's do something that's going to be right around the corner. This one comes from Alvin Young, or no. This one comes from who's the blonde Joe Swanson, and who taught it to the Hiawassee fiddler Ross Brown. How many of y'all heard that snowbird, the Georgia? It's not called the Georgia snowbird, but it's not the snowbird in the Ashbank. It's just snowbird. See if I can remember that. It's got scuffy stuff. It has intentional scuffy stuff in it. So it has got like this snowbird. It seems like something that's common with the snowbird tunes. Like I think you said John Ashby. Did he do snowbird and Martha Spencer's family? They did this. And Earl Collins' family was from Georgia. They moved to Oklahoma, but he took some Georgia tunes out west to Oklahoma, and that was like you hear him do Great Big Taters and things like that. He did Snowbird in the Ashbank. So it has bow scuffs, intentional bow scuffs. So let's see if we can. Do you remember? You remember it? See, this is basically a variant of a Patty on the Turnpike, you know. Let's see if I can remember it. Let's see, Patty on the Turnpike. I might have to just start with the scuffy part to get. So. Let's see. Yeah. Is that the scuffy part though? No.
Which part are you trying to remember?
I was doing Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you, Evans. Thank you, Siri Evans. we piece it together, the folk process in action. Lord, to give you a little taste of what happened. Oh, through the centuries, that's just basically how it. One tune goes from Patty on the Turnpike to the Snowbird to Pretty Little Widow. So yes, what's confusing about that tune is it's kind of it's kind of going back and forth between the sure enough F and a F sharpie thing. So it's a little bit of a F plus kind of thing. It's not a real. It's kind of like that, but it seems to be signifying an F. So here's the scuffy part, because the other part's kind of like Pretty Little Widow, but this was it. So I remember the lick. So here's the lick: is you got a double stop diagonal, like you got I call it the tunnel lick. It's like you got like a tunnel there. And you got there your index finger. Make sure that that's clear. And so you got that double stop. So you're letting off. So you kind of take the bow a little bit parallel to the strings. And then you resolve to the kind of F sharpie thing. What's it?
One finger capo across the two middle strings.
What's that?
We usually do the one finger capo across the two middle strings. None of that.
Oh, that. Ah, that's right. Oh, this the ring finger.
Easier.
The ring finger capo. Yes. So now you're seeing the whole multi-generational degradation process also in action. It takes 3 generations to forget a fiddle tune and then re-remember it. Okay. So this is kind of had this cool like medieval kind of sound. That's what we were lacking. So forget the diagonal I just told you. Edit that out. AMS. Sorry. So yes, we got. So it is that's a very cool. It's a ring finger. Kind of plop your ring finger down. Capo. When you said capo, I usually think of that as back here. You mean a ring finger bar? So I'm plopping my finger down, kind of like between 2 strings, like that, but just barely, not pressing down really hard, because you want it to be ghostly, kind of a wind sound. So I'm kind of putting. We're getting closer. There we go. So that's the lick. It's a ring finger, and you you have to press down very hard to make a sound. So what we're doing is putting a ring finger on D and G, and then letting off, and then putting it down to C and F below. So it's got that. So we'll just do that little move. We'll just do this little scuffy move again. There we go. So a little bit of this motion is what makes it more scuffy. And I think then he goes to the diagonal. Yeah. So that's you can really hear he hits pretty. It's pretty F sharpy, I guess. So the end phrase. Yeah. All right, snowbirds, get ready. All right.
The B part.
So we'll start with the high part. I guess he starts with the low part. Yeah, that's right. So we'll start with the scuffy part, and then we'll do the Patty on the Turnpike thing. 1, 2, here we go. My ending, I'm putting that Pretty Little Widow ending on there because it's in my head, but this is pretty easy to find on the internet. Ross Brown, I'm sure you remember Ross Brown from Hiawassee. He was always at the Hiawassee Festival, and that was his signature tune. So pretty easy to find. I'm gonna imagine.
He played things differently a lot of the time too.
I don't remember his exact fingering of the ending phrase, so it's something like that, you know. It's something. Yeah, I don't know the actual. If he does how he goes back. I think it still had that BG kind of ending. So. Anyways, did we get? I think we got enough of that one in there. So let's go down. Thank you for being patient to piece that together in real time. So now let's see. I guess we need to do a time check to make sure how we're doing. So
40 minutes.
we got how?
40 minutes.
40 minutes left.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Let's just last call for G. Let's see. Let me think about. Is there something you want to get in? Say about G, key of G tunes. While the banjos are still in G.
Rabbit under the colored leaf.
We could do that if you want to do that. We could do that in jam, but we could if we could do, maybe that's good because we'll go down to South Georgia, I guess. We could go to Calico also, but maybe we should take a vote. Maybe because of temperature, we should maybe save that for the jam or something. Because probably a lot of y'all are going to be at the jam if you're here, so. Maybe we'll do some Calico at the jam or something, because the Edgar Fortenberry had like 3 or 4 Calico tunes that are really cool. So we could do those unless we have a really strong vote, I could demo them or something. But you can just record them at the jam. It'll probably be a little, fiddles will behave a little better in the afternoon. It'll be a little easier to tune back and stuff.
Yeah, sounds good.
So we'll do one more G tune. This one we got from South Georgia. This is by Warren Smith, and we spend a lot of time with Frank Malloy, who is from South Georgia. He was from Milan. It looks like Milano, like in Italy, but Milan, Georgia, but down by Tifton. Which is down there in the real red clay flats down there, and they play some of the music that you recognize down there, but this one's kind of fun. It's called The Rabbit Under the Colored Leaf. I know Andy knows that. Some of y'all know that. So we'll do that one for you. It's just to show you the span of some of the. This is kind of a fun one from that we cut. Oh, so I was telling about Frank Malloy. So he was from down there, and he was like he was a folk music collector in his day. Back in the 40s, he was collecting stuff before tape recorders. He was actually took a correspondence course and learned how to write down music, and that was how he would remember the tunes. He had like a really good kind of tape recorder mind and ear for music, but then he actually documented stuff, writing it down. So it's a really good. He wrote tunes down from his own family, and then he collected tunes like from his region. So this is one from I forget I think this is from Milan, maybe. I don't know what the city is. We have our own versions of these tunes on a CD collections, volume 1 and 2, in dear old Georgia. It's non-commercial stuff. What's that?
Highly recommended.
Okay, all right. Bootlegs, okay, but we appropriated it from people. So, but if it's convenient, we have them already bootleg, pre-bootleg. Okay. So here's Rabbit Under a Collar Leaf. Isn't that cute? Unless you're poor little rabbit, where's your mammy-o? So, let's see. Let's see. You want to fiddle this one? But let's see. How does it go? How does it start? Let's see. Oh yeah, kind of like so many of them. But this one's got that little hopping part. Thank you, Andy. That's a kind of a something like you probably hear a lot of other tunes like that remind me of it as like like In the Woodpile or ones that kind of have that Soap Suds Over the Fence. The Georgia G, Soap Suds Over the Fence. So pretty easy to execute. You have kind of that cascading pentatonic, so that's since it's the first part's real transparent. The high part is, so it's constantly backing up and so you're going down and falling back up, falling up the stairs. So I like to play that positionally. I like to use the little tunnel lick on that because if you keep the ring finger down, because you're coming right back to the ring finger. So I just hold that D down. It's easier, I think. And the same thing with the G-B combination. I just drag my bow. I do the drag there. So that's how Frank Malloy wrote it out, like that, very 16th note like that. And then I was lucky enough to spend enough time with Frank. I would interview him about like what would they do with the tunes? How would your Uncle Joe Bullington play that, or how would did you hear Warren Smith play it? Would he do these kinds of notes? Because Frank was he knew, he was very well listened to all the different things that we hear about famous Georgia artists and stuff, and so I only had that to compare to. I would say, would they play percussively? Would they play? Oh yeah, they would mess with. So it's good to have the validation about that because he can't write all those different things down, and he was not really that type of fiddler. He was actually more notey, but and then later on we actually did end up. We had a little bit of validation when we found some reel-to-reels. It was like the Dead Sea Scrolls. We got some reel-to-reel tapes, and we had to piece all that together. And he had Lawrence Welk and Bob Wills on there on one. He had was split stereo because he was trying to save tape, so I had to listen. It was like the fiddles on one direction, and it was crazy to try to extract the tunes. But we had heard we got a little bit of validation on some of the stylistic things that were some of the people that he actually recorded when they did end up having tape recorders in the 50s when he got a hold of a tape recorder. But he never did quit writing stuff down. He was always kept up with his manuscripts. It kept generating manuscripts all the time. So here now the lower part of it has a syncopation in it, so it starts out kind of kind of tater, then so that's the little trick there. So I like to do. That way, because that's a natural for me to upstroke that way to start off. So I have one slur in there you hear. I'm letting off to the index finger slur. Oh, wait, I do the same. To me, that's kind of the hook of the tune. I like that. That's like my favorite part of the tune. That the little very, very syncopated phrase there, very perforated and. So we'll just try that whole low part together and see if you can catch on to that because that's really fun. And the low part here we go. Really hard to play. I've tried to play this on the banjo, and I don't know. If anybody ever can execute that phrase on the banjo, you have to do like some severe like drop thumbing and closed fingers to do it to make it. So just do it your banjo way. Just make it banjo-esque, and don't worry about. Just play it the best you can. Kind of circumscribe the outline of the melody, like doom doom doom. So banjo players doom 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 doom. I might. You can hammer into that. You can kind of hammer and pull off. You can hammer into the E. You might be able to get it, but it's really hard to get it to sound like this. So.
We may need to work on it.
Yeah. Oh, that's Ann down there. Hey, Ann. Hey, David, Ann, Vicky. Hey. All right, good to see you. So now, now we'll put both parts together. I think you can pick up on it. Here we go. About this. good. I really hear. How many of y'all already played that tune? That's a couple of y'all did already. Okay, and Judy's heard it. Oh. So, yeah. So that was. I really like to focus on that little syncopated passage because it was one of the few things that Frank actually took a point of pride of actually writing out that sync. So it must have been really important to him that he had that. What is it? That was, and he played it like that and wrote it like that. So that was like something that's really authentic to the. So we try to think about that. They were doing syncopated things like that, and so that kind of sometimes we'll extrapolate and go like, well, if they did that, maybe they did this too, or you know. And then you could hear some of those good tenor things, isms like it works really well on that. And you can kind of creep into the E, and then in honor of what he was doing, you can kind of do the double stop. You can do that. You can do a E, a B and the E there, or E. I'm sorry, E and G rather. High G with the E is kind of fun to do. And then you can even, if you want to get really dissonant with it, you can do the little bit of a G plus sharp. You know, like it's your E sharp there. What's your E chord? Or you can hit the G against the E chord, and that's kind of that queasy. So that's something that. So let's. Well, I know we're staying in G a lot, but this is kind of like what we tend to do at home. We tend to stay in G half the time, and then we'll go to C, and we don't go to cross A much, and we don't go to D that much. So I don't know. We'll just keep. We'll do some. We promise to do other tunes at the jam. We'll do a whole mess of D and a whole mess of A, and some Calico and stuff. But since let's see here, what the time is we got. So we got 20 more minutes. So let's do, because I just remembered this whole queasy thing here. Maybe we could do Kennesaw. We could do this queasy factor is kind of fun. It's what I'm talking about. It's a dissonant, intentional dissonant kind of drunkard sound. I call it and it's typified by like some of the harmony, like the E major against the G. That dissonance. That's kind of a blue tone. You know, blue note. So. Let's do what's a good one. Let's do. There's a northern version of this. Somebody does one. Hog Jowls and Backbone. Well, we'll do Hog Jowls and Backbone, which is the equivalent of J.D. Harris up here. He did Chase the Devil Around the Stump. So this is basically the same tune. Okay, so and Manco Sneed did. I think he did Booger Man or something like that. So it's kind of the same sort of thing. It was going around. Some people just do it all in G, and some people it's fun to actually kind of acknowledge the E if you're on the guitar. Change it up. So let's see. This one is like not a melodic tune. This is a very drony rhythmic tune. So you have to kind of bring some energy to this. Like it would be if you saw it written out, you couldn't whistle it really. I mean, it's not really much not much going on. It's very more of a percussive tune. So we'll just do an example of that queasy factor with working on this E string real quick. We'll just play this, and I think you'll get it. You can just kind of play along with it, and then I'll talk about some of the things that I do in the rhythms. But here we go. This is kind of a Dillashaw version, which I think is who does this? Would be Harry Kiker Harry Kiker was the fiddler, I think, on this particular one. So we'll do it like you kind of hear it like natural as a breakdown. It's a fun like for square dances because it's like very like mesmerizing. It's kind of a hypnotic, kind of a it's kind of psychotic sound. It's just kind of it's kind of oblivious to beauty or something. It's like very. That's why it has that drunken madness kind of a vibe to it. Like it's just like let's have fun, let's dance, yeah, with a bottle in your hand. Good God Almighty. Get the filler dram. So anyways, some of the things that are, that's a really interesting Georgia cadence there. That, and you'll hear that like in Sitico and like Flatwoods, tunes like that. So those are ties in the middle of the bar, I think. Between the foot beats. So you can see that it's kind of like a Sail Away's Ladies bowing, but it's in the middle of the line there, so it's it really helps. Then on the bottom part, kind of just chicken in the bread pan picking out dough, but and then he comes in early, so it's all kind of tatery, so then that's early. So you have a little dotted eighth note feels da ga da ga da 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 da. So if you picture that in your mind written out, it would be like 16th beam to an eighth note. Buddha Buddha ba da di ba da da. Buddha Buddha ba ba di ba da da. So that's the same value as like a ba ba ba, like in some of our music, like Hell Broke Loose in Georgia or something like that has dotted eighth note, and then a tie into the next note, da da ta. So we have like an eighth note tying into the next eighth note across the bar. So those are spaced like a triplet, big giant triplet. So. Do we have time? Do you want to go? Let's see, banjos are in G. They could play, if they just want to, if you guys are good sports and want to just kind of either tune fast or frail along we got 15 minutes to play a few C tunes or something. And then if you guys can tune fast enough, that's fine. Or if you just want to chord out a C, maybe we'll play some C tunes. Is that a good idea? Or is that bad? Is that okay for your? Yeah.
It's done already.
That was just a quorum parliamentary protocol, just to say, you cool with that? All right. Okay. So we'll play. Let's see here. Oh, let's see. Why don't you play? You want to just play some really hot C tune, just cold, just like literally. You want to do a little something? Did you want to do some Mary Jane? This is really another great Frank Malloy tune. If you feel like, is it? No, not right now. A little too early. We'll do it at the jam. It's a really super greasy tune. We'll do it at the jam and the concert when after is a little bit more reflexology comes back. So we'll do. What did we say was a good C tune? A good C tune to start was a Shanghai Rooster and Dominicker Hen or something. Anybody never played much in C? Or just okay. So everybody's pretty fiddle. Everybody's pretty into fiddle tunes. So in that case, let's do. How about let's do the Ben Entrikin Gray Eagle, which is kind of like, because I know the George. We actually worked on the. You played the J.D. Harris, some of y'all, and then this is Ben Entrikin, who was a guy from around Tallapoosa. Which is like near the border of Alabama, Georgia border. What's that now? He was from, you knew Ben Entrikin? Yeah. He's from Bowden. Well, it didn't seem to, maybe it was in his bow hand. Ben Intrigan, but his address was Bowden, Georgia.
Yeah, Bowden.
Bowden, yeah, Bowden. Yeah, Bowden, Georgia. So, but Bremen is out there too? Out Dallas?
Yeah,
out,
Bremen's out there, but yeah, he was closer to Bowden.
Oh, so you knew Ben Intrigan? Yeah, he's associated with Carrollton area, East, West Georgia. There's West Georgia College has some good field recordings of Uncle John Patterson and Ben Intrigan playing together. But he was a kind of a meticulous fiddler, and he had a lot of pride in his bow. Like his landing notes are he had like a little vibrato and kind of a violin kind of tone, which I don't claim, but I'll try to like signify a little bit what he did with the Gray Eagle. So the Gray Eagle is it's a little something that's kind of related to katydid. I think katydid is probably like a spin-off of Gray Eagle. If y'all play katydid, Low Stokes katydid. So here's a little Ben Intrigan's Gray Eagle. And it doesn't go to A minor, it's just a C, it's just all C. Kind of a rolling, kind of nice legato stuff he does there. He's kind of a smooth guy, smooth fiddler. He's smooth and rhythmic, so he's really nice. So we can work that. Y'all want to collect that tune right now, just a little bit? He has a little bit of a preemptive strike on the. Oh, and actually that's a downbeat. Sorry. He just kind of dwells on that note. So that's the hardest thing for me to do is to get that to hit that B and then kind of roll off with one bow stroke. So this is not syncopated that I can tell. It's pretty European downbeat kind of stuff. Does Ben do that end roll?
This is the version you learned from him yourself.
Yeah.
There's a recording of him doing it where he messes up the B part and plays a different tune.
Yeah. So when I was 17 or 18, like a lot of y'all are collecting these tunes and stuff. Ben Intrigan was at. Did you see him at festivals and things? Out. When his wife was 14, she took lessons from Ben.
Back in the
late 70s, yeah. So in the 70s, Ben Intrigan and Uncle John Patterson would come to the West Georgia. Like I lived in Marietta, and Evan was born in Kennesaw, or actually born in Marietta, and then we moved to Kennesaw. But he was a regular at like the Alpharetta, Armurchie, and Villa Rica and stuff. I'm trying to remember all those festivals out there, Douglasville. And this was, I recorded this at the Marietta. Actually, Marietta had 2 festivals back then. Yeah. And it was so I recorded it from Ben there. And remember that he had kind of a little like a grace note. It wasn't like a Sligo roll, but it's diddly kind of a diddly ending. Yeah. And so again, now let's do the A part again because it's pretty notey. So here we go. 2, 3, 4. C. Low G and down again. Pentatonic C. So everybody, I know that's hard to get in one sitting, but so we're going up from C. That's the first. Then G. So we're going from G to E. Box fingering, and then open pentatonic. It'll be there. So we got a pentatonic box, index and ring finger, easy fingering, and then we go to more of a full C scale. No F though. So the jump up from the B is not too bad. That's not a banjo. This is just like a more banjo support unit. Just bringing the yeah. So it'd be hard to get those. If somebody can do the Adam Hurt, calling Adam Hurt, maybe Adam Hurt will do it on a gourd banjo with recital perfect. So I was really happy that Adam Hurt did one of the tunes we collected from Alvin Young. Was he did it on his last record. So he did Old Bowback.
Oh, yeah.
Not Billy Bowback. Billy Bowback will do at the jam. It's another. Well, we're in C now. We could do Billy Bowback as we'll book in with Edgar Fortenberry after we get this. I think our time's good. We got time to squeeze in another tune, as we always say at FHS. There's always time for a 3-minute tune. FHS AMS is people. FHS is our local folks music school, Frank Hamilton's school, and it's a dedicated brick and mortar school for folk music, sort of modeled after the Old Town School of Music in Chicago. And Frank Hamilton is our founder, and he's still kicking, still living with us. He was a contemporary of Pete Seeger, and he's in the original folk revival of the mid 20th century, and helped. He's on the publishing for We Shall Overcome. If he tells you that, how's that for street cred? That's pretty good. So we'll do this again because I know this is a pretty notey tune. So since I think y'all kind of got the architecture, that the B part, this is very much like a Billy the Lowdown feel. So we got that same kind of, those two little hiccups, I call them ba-da, ba-da. We'll do the same thing. Here's the end phrase. But I think he did da 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 da. It's kind of like J, a little bit of hint to J. He didn't do it every time, so. But he didn't slide. I think he did. On your sources, does he slide?
He does a totally different part.
Oh, he does a totally
The B
different.
part's completely different.
Oh wow, you got.
It's a later recording where he messed up the B part and started playing a different tune.
Started playing Rocky Palette. That's right. But so, anyways, you kind of get the idea. That's kind of similar to the J.D. Harris thing. So here's the. We'll play this slow enough to kind of. Here we go. And the E G G G A G G G. legato. One more B part. A. And I think it follows the same Gray Eagle thing where it's a short. He does like AAB, AAB. So it's a short B part instead of contra. It's not a contra AABA length, AAB. So was that enough to collect that for now? And then we still have time for a very exquisite Edgar Fortenberry version. I hesitate to call. I only say hesitate because this tune is usually associated with the Fire on the Mountain family of tunes. Like there's a lot of tunes that have that same Fire on the Mountain lick, and it has that kind of key change to it. This is a really kind of a good entry for those of you that never played an F much. It's got like a little. It's a really fun rendition of he calls it Old Bowback, or Billy. He calls it Billy Bowback. Edgar Fortenberry's Billy Bowback. This is from his dad, or his, I forget. I have to look at the source if it was his father or grandfather or uncles or whatever. Anyways, it's from his family. Did we play this together? Okay, so this is a good, because I was thinking about Edgar Fortenberry tunes since we're like right down the way from here. You'll hear the Fire on the Mountain kind of thing, but it's like I don't want to say this is a version of Fire on the Mountain because this probably is older. Fire on the Mountain just got famous. It got all the glory. So we'll get a clean start in case anybody's recording. Isn't that a nice, exquisite way to render a Fire on the Mountain? It's more of smoldering fire on the mountain. It's just more like smoke on the mountain. Okay, so some really cool things. There's 3 separate approaches that he does before he does his end phrase. His first one's very quintessential fire on the mountain. Sorry. Buddha, Buddha, same kind of 16th beam to an 8th note twice. Buddha, Buddha, short, long, short, long. The second one's coming in early. So Buddha, Buddha, then Eurocentric. Amazing. He's got 3 different distinct phrases, and he did it the same way each time, so it was very particular. So first time, the 2 hiccups, as I like to call them. Then kind of a reggae thing, and then the end phrase. So if you can think about 3 different phrases, that'll help you remember the tune. So here you go. Here's the A part if you want to play with it. 3, 4. Hiccup. So now we get to switch to the key of F scale, and it's got a B flat in it. So it's just like, if you've never done that before, it's just like playing a C scale, or you're just going to move it 1 string lower. So Anne's going to know how to do her F chord because she took my banjo chords in C boot camp. So you know how to play the F. You got the F up there, yeah. Or if you want to go up the neck on that, you can go on the 5th fret and bar across. If you're in C tuning, you can do that. So, yep. Oh, yeah. Okay, there you go. Yeah, bar across the 5th fret. There you go. Yeah, then your B flat. You got the parallelogram chord on the 7th fret. I'm sorry. 3rd and 4th fret parallelogram is the F chord. B flat chord rather. If you're looking for a B flat, that's where a B flat's at. Because there's a B flat kind of in this. So here's the part in F. Yeah. So here's the B part. So let's see. So we're actually landing on a B flat. So we got C down to A, F up to B flat, pick up notes. So dun 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 da 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 bum bum bum. So dun da 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 da. It just does that twice, and then it does the same kind of ending phrase, kind of takes it back to C. So it's just like a little flop-eared mule, switch keys there a little bit, you know.
You could go to a 7th there, kind of, couldn't you?
I would not advise a 7th. On the B flat, it should be just regular B flat major. Yeah, B flat major. So here, I don't know why I'm getting so much cat scratch fever here. Got a lot of the rosin gets I don't know, it's kind of grabbing. There we go. So here's the F part again. And I'm not getting all the little wiggle wobbles, but just the construction. so it only does that once and goes back. So let's now, just so we don't totally forget the beat, the three phrase. Remember the A part has three phrases and then the end phrase. So here we go. So now we'll stitch it all together and see if we can get it. Kind of like Fire on the Mountain, but it's called Billy Bowback.